us for today's webinar. Today's webinar is on how to make decisions, how to help our children make decisions. Um, and this is one of the webinars which I have been especially looking forward to, because decision making is a skill, is an essential life skill which all of us need to learn. And there are various other skills which kind of flow in and merge with this particular skill. And I'm very happy to have uh, Ms. Richa Sahay with us. Thank you, Richa, for joining
Hi,
us.
hello. Thank you so
Richa,
much, Vaishali, for having me here.
thank you. Richa is a parenting coach. She is an expert in working with parents, and she is also uh, she's also into a lot of Upanishads and learning spiritual texts, etc., etc. But she has worked extensively with parents, and she has been working on various matters that parents face on a day-to-day basis. And decision making is something that we feel is something that we would like, Richa, you to throw light on, because most of us go through this huge dilemma of making a decision, and before we make a decision, it's always whether it is going to be right or wrong, good or bad. So to ask the first question, of today's evening's first question is, what is decision making? And is there something called a good decision and a bad decision? How do we differentiate?
Hmm.
So over to you, Richa.
Thank you so much. The questions are wonderful, and although they look like one or two questions, there is a complete package to it. So, before I really get into what decision making is to the core,
Hmm.
let me answer your the second part, which is good decision and bad decision. Well, there is nothing like good decisions and bad decisions. There only are consequences of decisions, which when you like is as per what you wanted, you term them as good, and which when you do not like and they are not as per what you wanted, you quote them as bad.
Hmm.
And very interestingly, if I would ask everybody to look back, join the dots, you would see that a lot of things which you felt were not all right for you, then you termed your decisions to be bad. Now you know the relevance. Now you know how they actually proved to be good to you also. So there is nothing like good and bad decision. There are definitely consequences. Now let's get into this whole idea of decision making and what it is. The decision making is not just a skill. It is actually an output, an outcome of some total of who you are. This is a very, very bold statement to make, actually, Vaishali. So,
Hmm.
for example, can you ever, what is the probability that you can expect a terrorist to make a compassionate decision?
Hmm.
Rarely. Maybe there would be some grace that something of this kind happens. How many times can you see somebody who is deep into mathematics
Hmm.
really being too just creative and not looking at things logically? Because that's a
Hmm.
part of their being. So decision making is actually about who am I, who you are, and hence it has quite a lot of dimensions to it, which when we look at, we figure out how they all together come to
Hmm.
create a decision that we say that we have made. So to begin with, I would like to talk about something as pleasure and pain syndrome. Pleasure and pain, we say that they are opposites, but actually they are complementary. Without pleasure, there cannot be pain. So, for example, let's say a student who had been really waiting eagerly for a result, or and maybe he was in fear, so there was a pain. I don't know what kind of result will come out. If the result comes out well, the kind of pleasure that the student has is just as much as the kind of pain the person had undergone. So pleasure, pain, and for example, or say you hold your thumb, and you keep holding it like this, yeah, for long, to an extent that it starts paining, and then you release it. What kind of pleasure you get? So you would have experienced maybe a day you've been out wearing some clothes which were not too comfortable to you. When you come back home and change and relax, how pleasurable it is. So pleasure and pain actually always go together. This is something to realize. We call as duality. This is termed as duality when we look at the ancient wisdoms. So day and night, they would go together, black and white. Without the backdrop of black, you can't see white. You need a darker black drop to see white.
To understand what white is. Yes.
Yeah. So pleasure and pain actually go together. Now, when we decide, most of the time and a lot of time, the decisions are actually based on what pleasure I am getting. So here I would like to bring this to you, that our mind, the way it is structured, the way kind of hormones the body secretes, the mind needs and wants immediate pleasure. The only word for the mind is fun. That's the only language that they understand. This is why anything which is not fun, maybe if mathematics is not fun for me, I would run away. Literature is not fun for me, I would run away. And even friends are not fun for me, I would run away. I do not gel with everyone. So mind understand the language of fun and pleasure. And there is something within us that dictates us for instant gratification. So I want to do it. Have you seen people behaving impulsively? There is so much of impulsive shopping, and then we say, oh, I shouldn't have, why did I buy this?
Yeah.
Because we look forward to immediate gratification. And what is this immediate gratification? So gratification of senses, which is also called as titillation. So I feel good, it looks good, it touches good, and all those things come into picture. So if the decisions are based on immediate gratification, immediate fulfillment, I would really strongly recommend, look at it. Do you really need it? From the smallest of decisions, I want to eat a burger. Do you really need it? Do you really want it? You just had it a couple of days before, and things like that. Then there is another dimension to it, that this feeling of gratification, which is your immediate result. Everything that you do, every action that you take will have a result to it, will have a consequence to it. In fact, even when you decide not to take action, that is also a decision of not taking action, and hence it will have a result, a repercussion, a consequence to it. Now, when I look for result which gives me short-term pleasures, I immediately go for it because that is very, very visible. But long-term consequences, how many of us really think of? Mind cannot cognize so much of long-term like that. Because when sense is occupied and it is demanding immediate gratification, and also when we have made ourselves used to this kind of pattern, this is the pattern on which the brain is running, then what you always look forward to is short-term stuff. You do not look forward to it in the long term. So consequence, and I think this is one thing which every individual, every parent, every child must know. Whatever I choose to do, it will have a consequence. I can choose to study right now, it will have a consequence. I can choose not to study right now, it will have a consequence. I can choose to go for a movie right now, it will have a consequence. I can choose to not go for a movie right now, it will have a consequence. I can choose to go for a trip, I can choose not to go for a trip. Everything will have consequence attached to it. What kind of consequence are you looking at is then a very, very important aspect. So many times, for example, when I have to take decision, I become more aware about how it is serving me in the long term. Is it Is it going to be something that I would want? And trust me, even when we do this, we really do not know what long term will be, because long term is not just about, for example, COVID.
Hmm.
Students gave their 10th paper, 12th paper. They would have
Hmm.
prepared the entire year, but you really do
Hmm.
not know what is going to happen.
Hmm.
Yet, there is certain preparation that you would do. You
Yeah.
would not say that, okay, anything might happen, so I would not do. On
Hmm.
your part, you have to take action, which is the kind of decision that you take. So, what are you really mindful about the consequence that it is going to bring, and what you are training your mind to learn, to go for short-term consequence, to go for long-term consequence? So many times we sit with friends and we gossip, and
Hmm.
time passes by and we do not recognize, and we say, Acha, half
Hmm.
an hour more, okay, half an hour more, okay, 20 minutes more, okay, 10 minutes more. Hours pass by. And
Yes.
later we felt, oh my God, 3 hours, 4 hours, it's so late. I had planned to do this, I had planned to do that. Rescheduling, replanning, and all such things come into picture, because
Hmm.
mind is not trained to look at what is going to happen in long term. And hence,
Hmm.
it is only kind of agreeing to what is the short term gratification, short term consequence that it wants. And yeah,
Hmm.
you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to ask, maybe
Hmm.
it's too early to ask, but don't you think that having short term gratifications goals
Hmm.
or decisions are also important, just to keep the life a little pepped up and happy? If I want to go and just have a pack of popcorns, I know popcorn is not good, and and I know that if I have butter popcorns or cheese popcorns, it's going to affect my health, but I
Hmm.
still want to go and have it. So and once I have it, I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have had so much, but still that little happiness or euphoria that I get, it gives me a little bit of happiness and I like it. uh, don't you think if we keep thinking about long term consequences, life will become a
Hmm.
little very too serious?
Dull and serious, huh?
Yeah, I mean.
So it is a definitely a choice. When I
Mm,
say long term consequence,
mm,
uh, I want you to become mindful about how many times popcorn do you want to have
yeah.
every second day. You
Mm,
must treat yourself once in a time.
mm,
Figure out what is once in a time for you. You must treat
mm,
yourself. But do we really treat ourselves occasionally, or is it a
mm.
regular thing?
Yes.
That is a bigger concern then. It is
Yeah.
actually a regular thing for us. So
Mm,
that's where, so right now what I'm talking about, of course there is something called a spontaneous decision, but that is something that happens when you live a spontaneous and an aware life. And that is
mm.
why I'm not talking about that right now, because we do not
Okay.
live an aware life. So right
Yeah.
now, once you start practicing this, that you
Mm,
start becoming conscious about long term decision, out of 10 times you would treat yourself 2 times. 8 times
mm.
you can let it go, which is good
Yes.
enough. Yeah. So we need to begin somewhere, and then you will know slowly and gradually as you grow what is appropriate for you. And appropriate is a very, very important word. So people with severe health condition during their mid 30s, 40s, and all that, what do you think has happened? Instant gratification being served all the time,
Yes.
burgers and all that being served all the time. And
Yeah.
so we know the result, how the health is impacted. So even your body is not bothered what you're doing it in short term, but
Mm,
short, and see the accumulation that you have given to your body. At one
mm,
point it says, I can't handle it anymore, and it throws
mm,
tantrums. And that's where we are in trouble. So it
mm,
becomes very, very important to be mindful of what consequence do I want. So it's all right to go for a movie. It's all right to
mm,
hang out with friends once
mm.
in a while. If I'm doing it every day,
Then that's a
then
problem.
that's a problem. So what kind of decision am I taking? So of course, the gratification is overpowering me. And do you think that if you have lived a life wherein you have always served gratification, during difficult times you can be resilient? You cannot be.
Mm,
You just cannot be, because you have trained yourself not to be. You have
mm,
trained yourself to get yourself anything that you wanted at any given point of time. And these are the kind of people who actually get into depression, who actually get into nervous breakdown, who have midlife crisis, and etc.
Okay.
That is where yeah.
No, go on, go on.
Okay. So that is where I say that being mindful of what consequence it is going to bring to me is very, very important.
Absolutely.
Third is something that is very, very important. I think we all experience it, is influences.
Yes,
We are
I have it written. Yeah.
So influences is something that is happening all throughout, and we give into it like anything. So I know once upon a time in my life, I was also told that, Richa, you get influenced very, very easily. And,
Yes.
and today I am at a place wherein I know I just can't get influenced. You tell me whatever. You give me whatever, all those carrots. Nothing influences me. I know what decision I'm taking and why am I taking and why I'm getting into something and why I'm not getting into something.
Absolutely,
what am I foregoing? What am I getting? Yeah. So how does influences work? One thing, there is something within us that always makes us feel small, and this is something which parents tend to do unconsciously in the entire process of raising the child. So the comparison that is made, see him, who got the highest grades. Why did you get? I know a parent who asked her child, why did you get 95? Where did those 5 marks went? So she was at that point in time being very, very jovial. But was the child also that jovial? Or how is the child taking the input? You will have to be sensitive to that. So somewhere comparisons and competition has done us amazingly good, wherein we become influenced very, very easily. Then there is this process of ideal. Who is your ideal?
Yes.
Well, I am unique. Why do I need an ideal? At one go, we all say everybody is unique. Every child is unique. Why can't you celebrate the uniqueness? But you want the child to run as per how the entire world has been running. If the world has got 10 things, your child must pick up one of the 10 things. Why? And so this happens. Secondly, what also works upon is when you are influenced. For example, let's look at career. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to become an engineer, a doctor, an astronaut, or whatever, because I am influenced. There is one thing that I'm inspired, and a good way to check that
yes,
is
the difference between influenced and inspired, because getting inspired is a good thing, I feel, and there are many things that can inspire us. So if you could just touch upon what is the difference between influence and inspire, and how we can correctly gauge and choose. Yeah.
So inspire is there is something within you and there is a right chord that is struck. Yeah. For example, I was into sales and marketing 14, 15 years back, and I had a mentor, and I had been very lucky to have mentors throughout my life. And in a discussion, he told me, Richa, you have no clue what kind of profession training and development is. You grow, and along with you help people grow. Now, growing as an individual has been very, very important to me always. He literally touched those key points, and I started looking for opportunities. That was a time I switched from sales and marketing to training and development. So that was inspiration. When inspiration happens, you can continue things even in the longer run. You can continue things even if when you are not paid as adequately as otherwise you would have got paid. You would not say no to jobs because they are low paying. For you, that's an expression of you. For you, it's an opportunity to express yourself. How can you let it go? How can you let it go? In fact, one of the ways to choose right career is really this. Figure out what is that to which you really do not mind giving 24 hours, for which you will not look for Saturdays and Sundays and vacations.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you have something
yeah.
of that kind, you know that you have already got your career. But
Hmm.
if something of that kind has yet not come to you, keep looking. Don't settle so fast.
So, Richa, there are many teenagers. Many of
Ah,
my students are watching today. I asked
mm,
exactly the same question that,
yeah.
okay, what is it that you can do for 8 hours straight without, complaining, without doing anything? You can concentrate on doing just that thing. And
Mm,
most of them say sleeping. They want to sleep. Now, is it that, and this is a common answer, and parents
yeah,
of teenagers who are watching this and listening to us, who have tuned in, will agree to it 100%. Their
I
children love
understand that.
to sleep. Uh, Now, is that because of this inability to do long term planning, and not even do short term planning? Is there a lack of decision making, wherein that leads to excessive laziness, or like lying around, sleeping, not working? I mean, this is a very common answer which I get
Mm,
nowadays. I see that, and in if you go out, for those who are employers,
mm,
doing businesses, if they go out hunting for good, employees, there is dearth. People don't want to work.
yeah. Yes.
So it's a problem,
Yes.
and I think I always have a feeling that it has to do with self expression. Because if you don't land up in a job where you cannot express yourself, that job is definitely not for you.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think, as you were saying, that decision making and in time decision making is very, very important
Hmm.
to get to that career path,
Correct.
and being able to choose that career path, and
Yeah. So,
parents being able to help.
hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. So let's get back to this. And this is a
yeah.
very interesting thing, and I find this phenomena so interesting, and I still wait. I'm waiting why people don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
This thing that you're talking about, sleeping, actually happens because unfortunately YouTube has brought you the entire world within your screen.
Yes.
You don't go out and explore. You have lost connection with nature, with existence. You
Mm.
do not know what it is watching a bird throughout the day, listening to the sounds it is making. We are used to such high bass volume that subtle sounds have gone out of our life. We can't
Absolutely.
listen.
Mm.
Vacations for 2 days to Nainital, 3 days to Shimla and Kufri and all that is nice. But if somebody will ask you that you stay there throughout, you will
Mm.
die because you are not used to so much of silence. Oh my God! But the silence is actually killing me. That is the
Mm.
kind of thing that is happening these days.
Mm.
Now, what happens is I have not looked at career as a way of expressing myself. For me, the career is a means that
Mm.
allows me to earn money
Mm.
and have a standard of living, go on
Absolutely.
vacation,
Mm.
have certain kind of 3 BHK, 4 BHK house, some kind of car, certain kind of
Mm.
interior, some kind of
Mm.
wardrobes,
Mm.
and all that, and dining out and all that. And then you start taking pride in that becomes a life. So life has become very, very superficial. There is nothing
Mm.
there at the core. The center is all crying, craving.
Yeah.
So when you are influenced by a standard of living, when you are influenced by, okay, I must take up this job because this is in trend, irrespective of the fact that I want to do it or not.
Mm.
And one of the most important thing that happens to children is these days, parents are capable enough, at least middle class and upper middle class and above. Parents are
Mm.
capable enough to give all the possible comfort a child
Mm.
would need. They don't really have to strive. I don't remember having AC when I was a child.
Mm.
I got onto the AC compartment of a train. I traveled in that after I had my first job. My parents were very clear. We have
Mm.
seen a life which was somewhere difficult to the body,
Mm.
wherein the body was left to have discomfort.
Mm.
Today, that is not the case. The situations have also changed, the societal situations have also changed, and parents are also able to afford much.
Mm.
Your technological development has made it possible also. So we do not know, the children of this age do not know what it is for the body to experience discomfort.
Mm.
Plus, sense gratification is on a high, pleasure is on a high. So, whenever you have anything which is discomforting, uncomforting, the immediate reaction is, I don't want this. I need to get out. What the hell is this?
Mm.
Patience has ran out.
Yeah.
No patience.
Yeah.
So, when you make those things as your standard of life, then of course you will have all things superficially, but within you something will always keep crying that this is
Mm.
not living, this is not living. Yeah. So
Yeah.
children are getting very bored these days, all the video games and everything has come into picture. Teenagers especially, they have the capability to think, Vaishali,
Absolutely. And they're,
teenagers are no more, I consider them very much adults.
yes,
Their
absolutely.
brain
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
fully developed, they know everything in life, their body
Yes.
is fully developed, they are capable of understanding everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not consider them as teenagers kids, they are
Mm.
adults to me. Teenagers need to recognize this.
Mm.
Every time when I decide to spend time in a certain way, what is the quality of life it is bringing to me?
Mm.
If you can write it down somewhere, paste it so that you do not forget, and stand in front of it for 5 minutes, looking at the words, allowing every word to seep inside you, to become your being, you would have started creating a difference in your life. But
Mm.
that is a responsibility, that is a task. One needs to be really honest and genuine to be able to do such things. It doesn't come so easily because we lie to ourselves a lot. We tell
Mm.
ourselves, it's okay, it's all right. And
Mm.
these are very usual and common expression. Come on, what the hell are you doing? Why do you need to do
Mm.
this? No, I need to do this because it's about my life. It's not about anybody
Mm.
else's life. Can I
Mm.
be little loving towards myself?
Mm.
Because only when you allow quality to express in your life, you will see how much you are loving, spending every moment doing it.
But Richa, quality also kind of gets influenced. Like you said, that having a certain kind of lifestyle is basically a big influence in a child's life.
Yeah.
I remember this teenage, not teenage, sorry, she was in college. And she was doing an engineering course in one of these universities, private universities, and private colleges. And her father is a family friend, so he came along with her to just discuss that what can be done, because she wanted to go and do MS in US, in the states. And she had very very bad marks in her engineering, but still she wanted to do. And her father was ready to sell off his apartment, and kind of pay that kind of money. And we kept asking her that why do you want to do this, what is the what is the ultimate aim, what will you do by doing MS, what is your idea, what is your goal. And after 1 hour of just talking and talking and talking, she comes up with this thing that I want that standard of living, I want that life which I watch on Big Bang Theory, on Friends, on Netflix. I want that life. So if that is the influence that we have in today's teenagers, then how do we tell them about what is life, what is quality life? So when do we begin telling this to the children? Like, when do we bring in decision making skills in a child's life?
You bring in decision making in child's life even from the age of 3, 4 or so, when the child demands to eat certain thing and
Mm,
says no to certain thing, when a
mm,
child wants to watch certain serial and doesn't want to watch certain serial, when the child doesn't want to go out and play or want to say no to some friend or want to say no to sharing or whatever,
mm,
it starts from, it starts very much from there. I don't remember asking my daughter, she's 10 years old now, I have never asked her who got the highest marks, what was the class percentage, who got the lowest, where are you in everybody.
mm,
But then the questions that we have is, how happy were you about the effort that you put in? Do you
mm,
think you should have done a little more? Or are you
mm.
satisfied with what you did?
Yeah.
Are you okay with what you have received? Because right now this is reflecting me what input you have given. What
Mm,
support you want from me? Do you think I have faltered somewhere? How do you want me to become aware of it? The conversation
mm,
style is totally different. So making her responsible about it and telling that I am willing to take the responsibility.
mm,
It starts very beginning. My when my daughter wanted to have some game because a friend has,
I think we are back. Okay. Are we back? Hello?
Yeah,
Yes.
hi.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, I think we are back. There was some
Ah,
issue. I'm sorry to those
all
who
right.
have tuned in, and sorry
Mm,
we just got disconnected for some reason. But just to give you a recap, we are in conversation with Richa Sahay. She is a parenting coach and an NLP practitioner, and also we have been talking about decision making and the right age to make the decision to start making decisions. And we were just talking about what is opinion, and
mm,
how we generate opinions, and how they influence our decisions. Also, before we get on to this, I would request all our viewers to keep writing their questions if they have on the comment box. We are going to start taking your questions in about 15 minutes from now. And yes, Richa, let's continue with our conversation. So,
sure.
opinions, yes.
Yeah. So to understand opinions, you will have to understand there is a concept of identity.
Mm,
We understand I am something. I am a student. I am honest. I am witty. I am handsome. I'm pretty. All those things. Or
mm,
I'm an engineer. I'm an engineering student, or whatever. All these are identities.
mm,
At the outset, they do not really look to be so dangerous.
mm,
The problem is we get stuck with them. We
mm,
get too attached with them, and how they come to us. For example, you see, I had been corporate trainer and behavioral trainer for 12 long years.
mm,
And after so much of training, say somebody comes and tells me, Richa, you are a pathetic trainer. I've
mm,
attended your sessions and I did not get anything from them.
mm.
What is it going to do? Hit me hard.
Yeah.
The person is questioning the very identity of mine. Come on, how can you say like that?
Mm,
And now the chances that I would react is very, very high. Now, I have an opinion about me, how I am.
mm,
And I think I have a right to have opinion about everything.
mm,
Unfortunately, what we don't understand is opinion is just about our own small world. Opinion is, it is immaterial. Whatever opinion you might have, the way COVID has to play, it will play.
yeah.
It is immaterial whatever opinion you might have, but if the global warming is happening, you will have to bear consequences. So opinions really have very, very less space in our life, but for us our opinion are our truth. That's how it plays for us.
Mm,
And these days I have seen this coming up very interestingly. Everybody is like, okay, it's my opinion and you can be okay with it, and it's your opinion, I can be okay with it. So in certain way we give validation to having opinions. I'm not saying
mm,
you don't have opinions, you can have, but how serious you must be with opinions. That's where the
mm,
entire catch is. So if you are living with opinions which actually gets formed because of the experiences you have, because of how people are talking around you, what kind of company you keep, what kind of environment you're operating in, what kind of school you are going in, when you go to tuition, what kind of children are coming, how is your teacher behaving, all those things, what kind of serials you are watching, what kind of channels you are watching, what on YouTube are you watching, all
mm,
this will feed in to form your opinion. We must not think that passing time on YouTube or on any game is actually free of cost. It is not. We pay
mm,
by giving our piece of life to it. So it needs huge sensitivity to be aware that it is costing a
mm,
piece of life of mine, and I would not like to give it to that. It demands huge sensitivity and self love for not doing it. And trust me, we do not love ourselves. And the result is the amount of hospitals that have the industry, the cosmetic industry. We love to shape our body all the time, like crazy. I mean, we are not
mm,
all right with it. We're not all right with the way we look and the way we just
we
Yeah,
are, the
yeah,
way
the way
we
we are,
are.
we are not all
Yeah.
right with all that. So this is how opinions are forming. Now the problem is too much of importance to opinions and overlooking facts. Now there is this very
Mm.
important discrimination about what is fact and what is opinion. Opinion will be always
Mm.
personalized, your world, my world, how I think, how you think. Facts are going to be same for you, same for me. So if 6 o'clock
Mm.
in the morning, it is for you as well, it is for me as well. If sun rises in the east, it is same for everybody. It is very, very important to check what are the facts of things before taking a decision. If your decisions are based on facts, the chances that whatever consequences they bring to you, you will be able to handle them well. The
Mm.
consequences, good or bad, again, I would not love to label them, and we have talked why not.
Mm.
No consequence is good or
Mm.
bad. If the consequence comes as per what you wanted, oh, wonderful. If the consequence comes as per what you never wanted, you will still be able to live with it, handle that, and take the next step mindfully in your complete sensibility. Why? Because you can see the facts. And let me give you one very simple example. For example, uh, say this is a bottle. Yeah. So I have
Mm.
this bottle. To me, this is good enough to support me, keep the water warm, because I'm a water girl, so I need something of this kind. And yeah, it serves me good. Now imagine, hey, what color is this bottle? What a lovely color. Yeah. So then,
Mm.
okay, the cap is that it's look good. What kind of style it is giving me, and what brand it is of? Now, when all these things starts to matter, you
Mm.
have already drifted away from the fact. The fact is, it is serving you the purpose of keeping the water hot or cold the way you want and helping you whenever you are thirsty. But the
Mm.
moment color becomes important,
Mm.
shape becomes important, you've already lost the purpose. And a lot of times we buy things just because they look good, they feel good, not because we need them,
Mm.
not because they are high in quality. Look and feel
Mm.
starts to dominate.
Same with, I think,
Why?
schools and colleges. We
Ah, everything.
Same with, I think, schools and colleges. We go to a school, we go to a particular college because it looks good, or people say it's very good.
Ah,
It looks good on your
it's
CV
good.
also
It's
later on.
trendy. Yeah, yeah. It looks good. It's a brand that gets attached to you. You feel so good about it. There is a brand value and all that. What have you done with yourself is simple. You have drifted away from facts. What you really wanted, you could have got possibly in 500 rupees, but you will go and spend 800 rupees just because of look and feel. And I'm not saying don't go and don't do at all. Please go and indulge at
Mm.
times consciously. Know what you are doing. Do not allow it to overpower you that you start feeling so, you know, constipated when you can't buy it, when it is not available, when a friend
Mm.
of yours has and you do not have, when it has gone out of stock on Amazon and you're going crazy about it. So, what you have done is you have allowed your opinions that it is good and I must have it to overpower you, and you have totally looked away the facts. Here
Mm.
comes an important aspect which is also called emotions.
Mm.
Now, what I'm going to say is not going to be liked by a lot of people,
Mm.
but emotions aren't that sacred the way we take them. A lot of us feel we are humans because we have emotions. I'm sorry to say, we are not humans because we have emotions. Emotions are nothing but role play, outplay of the hormones that you have. There are stimulus, your hormones get activated, you start feeling certain way, and emotions come. And you do a very simple exercise. You sit and you start thinking about a very good event, wonderful event that happened in your life, and see what happens. Slowly and gradually, you feel good, you start smiling, and you're all fresh. What has happened? Has the event happened? No. You have just thought about it so densely that it has started to make you feel good. Emotions have started to play. So,
Mm.
you can do this even with a negative event, and you see how it pulls you, how sad you feel. So,
Yeah.
emotions are not all that sacred, not all that important. And I'm not again saying you will not feel them. that they're part of your body, you will undergo them. But please do not give so much of importance that I am feeling sad. Okay, I'm
Mm.
feeling sad. Let me still see what can I do.
About it, yes. You're on mute. You just got on mute. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. There was a
Yeah.
call coming in, and so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So so you need to understand your decisions must not be based on emotions but on facts. Your decisions must not be based on opinion but on facts. If you are living a life with too much of emotions, you will end up becoming very, very self centric. I'll give you one very interesting example. Some few years back, I started to learn guitar,
Mm.
and the teacher to whom I used to go, he had some dispute with the school, the music school, and he was not feeling good about it. Now
Mm.
he knew that I'm working. He knew that it is very difficult for me to find out time. We already had those conversations that I will only be somehow be managing to come twice a week. So
Mm.
I really would respect if that 1 hour be really productive, effective, etc. That day, because he was so emotionally charged and moved by the kind of conflict he had with his staff and people and management,
Mm. Mm.
he was totally drifted. He could not respect my 1 hour, and I did not learn anything. We hardly had a class. We only chit chatted.
Mm.
Emotions always makes you self-centric. It never allows you to be empathetic.
Mm.
To be empathetic, you need sensitivity, which is what arises in you when you allow emotions to go down. Because sensitivity is a lot about able to see the situation the way it is, able to recognize how the other person could be feeling, and
Mm.
not letting your feeling get into it, your emotions get into it, and then respond in a way which is appropriate to the situation.
Mm.
And a lot of time, just because we are emotional, oh my god, this happened with you, and we become pally pally to it.
Mm.
Let's celebrate gladly that we are in the same boat. Oh my god, something went wrong, or oh my god, something so went so high. Feel the emotion, feel ecstatic, feel joyful, even feel sad. Don't get too serious about it.
Serious about it. Yeah.
The whole
But
problem arises.
but it's a very difficult thing to do, Richa. I
Yeah, yeah,
think not taking life seriously. Everybody is told to take life seriously. Many parents kind of even when their children are old enough to take care of themselves, they get worried if they don't have any tension in their life. If the children are having a joyful life, parents can just go crazy, like what's wrong, why is this person so happy and nothing is happening. There
yeah.
is no tension in
I
his
agree.
or her
Yeah,
life.
yeah. Correct, correct.
So we are told somewhere that life is serious and you take it seriously.
Oh,
So
life is not at all serious.
but then studies are richer, and I think
Yeah,
students have to take their studies
yeah.
seriously. So
Vaishali, a correction.
yeah, go on.
Students need not take their studies seriously. Serious people are only found in ICU. Trust me. Yeah.
I mean,
Students,
pay attention to the
students
consequence of
need
studying and not studying. Yeah.
students need to be sincere towards their studies, and
Yeah,
there is a
you're right.
difference. Yeah.
Yes, there's a difference. Yes, I agree. Sincere is the word.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sincere is the word. And
Yeah.
not everybody needs to do something in the field of education. There are
Mm.
people who are good at sports, there are people who are good at art,
Mm.
music, blah, blah. Please choose your field, allow
Mm.
yourself to fly. For me, the only thing which is non-negotiable is a mediocre life. You get into whatever, you find that one thing and give yourself totally
True.
to it.
Mm. Mm.
Don't be mediocre,
Mm.
be the best in whatever you are doing, and then that is
Mm.
acceptable.
Yes. No,
And be the
mediocrity is a
best.
problem.
And when
Mm.
I say be the best, I'm not talking about being in the top 10, top 50.
Mm.
Be the best in terms of the effort, the sincerity, the commitment that you give. If you have given yourself to it, you will be able to take care of everything that comes your way. Then numbers must not matter you. Where am I? So even at times, if I am doing so many things just for the expression of it, for example, we are doing this webinar for free. There is
Yeah.
no charge associated to it.
No.
I'm still happy. It is not bringing me any money. What it is bringing to me is that expression that I want to create for myself, and that's more important for me. Rest will
Absolutely.
follow. Yeah.
Yes.
So that is important.
Yeah.
And then one last thing that I would like to just talk about in brief, because now we are talking about taking the questions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are taught about how to think. At least I remember in our textbooks where we used to have questions like, write 5 advantages of something. It was already declared that the stuff has got advantages and not disadvantages. We were never taught how to think. What to think was very clear. And there is a fallacy. The right thinking process is something that allows you to know how to think. How to think with facts. How to think with long-term perspective. How to think, notice if influences are coming in your way. Are you doing anything because of influence or because there is something else? How to think, be aware of pleasure and pain associated that you are demanding.
Yeah.
So thinking is not a very easy process. It doesn't come that easy. Right now, the kind of thinking that we have is very random. I'm wearing a sari which is beige in color, and this would remind you with some beige color clothes, some beige color diary cover, and that diary reminds you of some place you took it to. And the chain, where you started and where you find yourself, you really do not know. I remember I used to be with a coach, and once he was sharing with me an incident. He said, I was coaching a lady, and she told me 7 in the evening she opened her internet to check a word meaning, and then she realized it is 1.5 hours at night, and she is watching a movie on Netflix. Why the hell? Where the hell this movie has come from? She had never decided about that. And how that has happened is, there is a link, so click on that link, then there is another link, you click on that link, and you keep browsing pages and pages and pages without any agenda, without knowing something. And this is how Facebook and Instagram and everything is capturing the mind, because we are just not aware what we are doing to ourselves. We are not able to hold ourselves. So these are few things that come very strongly when it comes to decision making. If only you start handling yourself.
Yeah. So our previous question that I had about opinion and how opinion kind of influences your decision making. So do you mean to say that we should not base our decisions on emotions or opinions?
Not at all. Decisions are not to be made to feel good. And what makes you feel good? Mind works in pattern. That is the way how mind functions. So anything that is not aligned to my pattern, for example, I can have a pattern that after every meal I want to have some sweet. That's a pattern. So the day I do not have sweet, I feel uncomfortable, I feel irritated. Oh, I don't have a sweet. And a lot of people immediately at that moment go to a sweet shop, buy a sweet. That's a taste that mind has developed. And taste is not something of the tongue. Let me tell you, it is of the mind. If had it been of the tongue, somebody from Bengal would have been equally all right with whatever is cooked in Punjab or South India. So taste is not of the tongue. Taste is of the mind. Taste belongs to the mind. Every sensation belongs to the mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to really be cautious how opinions are driving you. The only problem is, when I allow it to drive me once, then it has become little strong, 4 more times more strong, few more times even stronger, to an extent that only becomes the driver. That is where we need to cut that pattern. Become aware, become conscious, be mindful, hold our attention, pause. A very effective measure.
Hmm.
Just freeze, pause. What am I doing? A lot of times when I want to buy something, I tell myself, okay, I'm not going to buy this for next 2 months at least, and I'll see what happens. Is my instinct of buying that still strong after 2 months? Most of the time
Hmm.
it dies.
Yes, you're right.
Most of the time it dies, which means I never wanted it. It was a very sense gratification that arose. So
Yeah,
it's a conscious
hmm,
decision that I take. No, I will not do it. I have to go against it.
yeah. So you have to make that decision over there first to see whether you really, really want it or not. Then take your decision based on that. Base your
Yeah,
decisions on facts, not on emotions, not on influences. And also, this is something that I've just written it down over here, that um, let the emotions go down, and when the emotions go down or go away or leave you, then you become more sensitive, and with sensitivity comes empathy, and with empathy comes a
yeah.
proper response to the
Yes, yes, yes.
situation that you are in. I think
Yeah,
this is something which all of us should practice. And
very important.
is there a method or a process that we can like do, like what, 3 steps or 4 steps or 5 steps that we can like quickly
Yeah.
jot down, which we can follow just to start ourselves on this journey? I- are there steps that you could suggest us, maybe 3 steps, 1, 2, and 3?
I mean, you are asking a very difficult question because it is
Yes,
about your
I'm
entire
asking.
being. It's not about just
Yeah,
two, three
yeah.
steps.
Maybe
But
one
let's
thing that
still,
we can
still
start with. Yeah.
allow me. So let me still try and put all this thing into a kind of step by step. The
Yeah.
first thing is you need to identify the facts. Figure out
Hmm.
what are the facts in whatever you want to do. Figure out
Hmm.
how influenced it is. Figure out how much it is coming from opinion, how much it is
Hmm.
coming from emotions, etc.
Hmm. Hmm.
Secondly, please build this long term vision. We are very
Hmm.
myopic. Build this long term vision. So, if you want to buy something on EMI, are you
Hmm.
clear what it is going to bring you? It is definitely going to bring a headache for over next 6 months, 12 months, a few years, or what's. So, be
Hmm.
conscious. Are you willing
Hmm.
to take that? Then go ahead. If you're not willing to take that, see what else can you do. Third,
Hmm.
be courageous. Now
Hmm.
that's very, very important. And I tell you why I'm saying this, especially for students. I had been doing life skill sessions at engineering colleges, and after two, three
Hmm.
sessions, children would come and say, "We never wanted to become engineers. Our parents are
Hmm.
investing money. They wanted us to become engineers. We have no choice.
Hmm.
You are adults, yeah. You can live your life, and you are in one of the best colleges. So tell
Hmm.
me what stops you from saying no to what your parents want for you, and maybe pick up a part-time job or tuitions or something like
Hmm.
that, because you are capable of doing all that, and earn a living which allows you to survive right now, and put yourself
Pursue.
yeah and
Hmm.
put yourself into pursuing what is your
Hmm.
expression. And
Hmm.
trust me, they had no courage. They had no courage to
Hmm.
leave the comforts given by the parents. They had no courage to talk to parents. They had no courage to take the life as it comes on its face.
Hmm.
Because it is possible that what you have chosen does not bring you immediate results.
Hmm.
It is very, very possible. Can you sustain that
Hmm.
still? You need that courage and conviction in yourself. If you
Yeah.
can build upon these things and then simply go ahead, then
Hmm.
simply go ahead. It's not about labeling if the decision is right or wrong. Are you able to take the consequence that it brings to you? And trust me, consequences are not just from what you are doing. Consequences also would come because of whole lot of circumstances that can happen. The market
Absolutely.
can go
Hmm.
wrong, the industry
Hmm.
can go wrong, somebody in your family can die and you have to rush back, leave everything. A lot of things can happen. You can have an accident. Who knows?
Hmm.
I'm not
Hmm.
talking about, I'm not saying these things must happen, God forbid,
Hmm.
but please be courageous to take whatever then happens and
Yeah.
sustain yourself.
Okay, Richa, we have questions coming in. In fact, we have somebody, Navneet, had written this question even before we started our conversation. So Navneet is writing. that how should parents handle kids in the age group of 9 to 10 who
Mm.
perpetually say no. Now,
Mm.
perpetually say no, that is something that I want to look at.
Yeah.
They perpetually say no every time you ask them to do something.
Yeah.
Could be a simple task as folding their clothes, keeping
Mm.
their things tidy. I mean, this is a teenage or a tween age parent's nightmare, I think, keeping the room tidy and
Mm.
saying no to. So, how does a child start saying no, and why?
A child starts saying no when the child feels he's being forced upon something by the parent. So one way you need to deal with the child is asking a lot of questions
Mm,
and taking permissions. Both the things. And I say this, a lot of parents feel taking permission from children. Come on.
mm,
No, it's important to respect that they are individuals. They are
mm,
not our property in any way. They're not there to serve
mm,
our purpose.
mm,
They are there to live their life. So
mm.
seeking permission, if you need anything of theirs, do you even check with them? I need this. Can I take it for some time? I even take permission from my daughter when I want to kiss her. Can I give you a kiss? At
Mm,
times she says no also, and I'm all right with it. I said, okay, if you do not find it, it's all right.
mm,
And can you respect their decisions? Because
mm,
when you are not allowing them to do this, how will they know there is something called decision? A lot of time I've
mm.
seen parents even going and choosing clothes for their children, for even for the elder
What
ones.
they, yeah.
Please don't do it. At times they will really go and buy outrageous stuff. You talk to them. You don't say no on the face. No
Yeah.
must arise from within themselves. So
Mm,
if they are, say, folding your clothes, you need
mm,
to fold your. So do you want your clothes to be like? And at times allow them to suffer. We take it
mm,
as prestige issue. Oh my God, how is my child looking shabby? If I would have
mm,
taken care of his clothes, it wouldn't have looked shabby. At
mm,
times, allow them. Oh, I'm so sorry. You were supposed to take care of your clothes. You did not. The clothes got angry. What do I do? The clothes say they are not. And dramatizing with children, that works wonders.
yes.
Make everything an individual. I mean, a
Mm,
living person. The clothes was
mm,
angry. I went
mm,
to it and said, am I yours? No, I'm not yours.
mm,
Whosoever wears me must take care of me. What could
mm,
I have done? Allow them to suffer a little. Why do
mm.
we have to make a protective shield all the time, all around?
Yeah,
At
yeah.
least in the smaller stuff. And then
Mm,
in your conversation, when you ask them question, and questions must be open ended. What did you like in the day
mm,
to day? What was difficult
mm,
for you in the day to day? Was there anything that you thought,
mm,
if I could have helped, it would have been better? Yeah. And how was
mm,
your friend? Even sitting and watching their serial with them at times, it's very important to go
mm,
in their
mm,
world and see and
mm,
enjoy at times. Sit with them for half an hour, maybe, whatever they are watching, whatever game at least they are playing. If you don't want them to get stuck with the screen, sit with them for 15 minutes. Tell me, what is this game all about? I am also curious. I also want to learn. And then slowly and gradually you tell, oh my God, this looks like very exhausting. Oh my
mm,
God, I don't know okay, what happens when you play this?
mm.
Only when you know their game they can talk to you, na? If you don't even
Yeah,
know about their game, what will they tell you?
yeah.
So then the conversation happens only when you allow yourself to be part of their world.
Mm,
But standing from a distance and giving directions, forget it. Especially we are in the age of social media and there is too much of noise around independence.
yes.
Children do not like this.
Yeah.
A lot of time, I use this also with my daughter. I tell her, Acha, this is a cloth lying like that. It's all right. Chodo na. Why do you need to,
Mm,
keep it properly? At
mm,
the max, what will happen when you need to wear it? It would be crushed. This is what it's all right. Wear crushed clothes and go. It's all right. All right.
mm.
And then she knows, no, the clothes must not be crushed. I must take care of it. And then she goes and does it by herself.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have already brought up the consequences in a manner, and you are saying, I'm all right with the consequences. I have no issues at least. So there is
Yeah.
nothing like you are pushing on the child, nothing of that kind. So you need to start using smaller tricks with them, and involve yourself in their world to some extent at least. Especially this is the age 9, 10 onwards. Teenage is not happening on at 13 now. It is happening at 10, 11, 12.
10, yes, 10, 10.
So, and that is a time when the child loves to get secluded in their world with their friends, their music, because now the generation gap has come into picture. You are not there to understand anything, and you will find yourself only frowning and only giving the comfort. Take the lunch, take the dinner, your things are ready, kept there, just taking care of their stuff. That's what you will find yourself doing. Be part of their world. That's very, very important. Yeah. And I think,
Thank you,
Vaishali,
Richa. I hope this has answered. Yeah. Yeah, tell me.
Just
Go
take
on.
one moment, and I wanted to introduce. I also have a YouTube channel on parenting. So all those who are watching me, even children, I would request you to subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah, because I answer a lot of questions that come to me in the comment section. Also, I create more videos on that, and I really want to spread this
No,
awareness.
definitely. Yeah.
So I really want
No, I was
parents.
going to talk about that. We have two more questions actually. If you can
Let's take
quickly
the
take them.
questions.
Yeah. So Ashwini is asking how to inculcate habit of sincerity in a 6-year-old towards studies, etc. And the second question is work-life balance. Most of the careers chosen in India don't allow this. Okay, let's just take the first question: how to inculcate the habit of sincerity? And I think it has to start from an early age, definitely. But how do we start doing that?
Sincerity happens with anything when you love doing it. Then only you have a sincere affair with something. Yeah? So it is important that you start bringing to them studies in a way with that it starts becoming fun. For example, Hindi is not just about literature. English is not just about literature. When you speak, how you are speaking, oh wow, when you speak, somebody is listening to you constantly. You are able to express yourself. That's what language brings to you. So the fun in studies needs to be brought in. That's one. Science has to be made really practical. SST, the everyday science is what is taught, needs to be made really practical. Bring the Hindi movies in your regional movies or whatever landscapes, etc., that you have seen, how they look, and relate them with the
Maths
book.
has to be practical. Maths
Very,
has to
very
be made practical.
Why can't you have exchange of money and give them to counting and all that? Sitting on the table when they want chocolates, why don't you practice counting? And with 6-year-old, please don't do much. Allow them to play. Allow them to have their fun. It's just that it's important for you to be aware what is it that they are indulging themselves into. What is that is the flair in them, so that you can help them develop that. That is definitely important. So you can expose them to all the crafts, dancing, singing. Allow them to do cutting and all those crafting stuff. That's those things are very important, because when we restrict them with all these things, the only thing that is left for them is screen.
Yes. No, I think an involved parent always can make a child, sincere towards anything that he or she is doing. Not just studies, but anything.
It takes definitely a toll on the parents. I would not say it comes so easy, especially with the working parents.
Absolutely.
But somewhere, for example, I was called to be a bad mother while raising my child when she was really young, because I would never come from the space of emotions. So, for example, in emotion, I'm getting her ice creams after ice creams. I would never do that. I would never do that. It has to be okay. You get ice cream. You get twice a week. You get thrice a week, and there is a contract between us. When do you get and when you don't get? And what also is about deserving. So at times you get it because you deserve. At times you get it, but okay. And then there is this whole game around deserving and am I pampering the child? Do not unnecessarily pamper the child. Yeah? And be conscious that yes, it will take a lot of energy from me. You can cut yourself down on your own social involvement.
Hmm.
That's one place you might would
Like
like to.
on phone, or like many of us parents are on the phone constantly,
Don't
almost
talk to the child being on the
on
phone.
the phone.
Please
That's
keep it aside. If the child,
mm,
because you're giving a message to the child that the phone is more important, you are not. This
mm,
is going to come to you reverse when they are into teens. For them also,
mm,
phones will become more important.
mm,
Yeah. So it will figure out where you can cut down. Maybe a house can be a little untidy. You don't need a very spick and span house all the time, but
mm,
spending the time with the child is important.
mm.
Doing things when you are folding clothes, why don't you
Make
make
your
the
child.
child sit and talk and fold the clothes? Hey, see how beautiful I folded, and what is this cloth saying to me, and have your
Mm,
conversation around all that. you know so bring these small involvement, what you are also doing and the child also can do, and that has got a very very um,
mm.
interesting impact.
A very, very interesting question.
Yeah.
Nirupama is asking this. We'll come to the work-life balance. I want to take it as the last
Yeah.
question.
Okay.
In fact, we are going to speak for another 15 minutes because we have lost a lot of time due to internet issues and technical faults.
Sure.
So we're going to speak for another 15 minutes, and we can take at least another two questions.
Question. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So she's saying that in our times, we never used to say no to our parents. Just a glare was enough. Like the
Yeah,
parent
yeah,
would just
yeah.
glare
Agreed,
at you, and
agreed.
you're like, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Nowadays, kids just don't listen. Whether you call their names, shout, scold, explain,
Mm.
be calm, nothing works. When does this? When do we reach this? When nothing works? I mean, how do we go there? How do we reach that stage?
Yeah. Okay. So one thing, I really do not remember my parents giving me everything I wanted, pampering
Ah,
me with everything. It doesn't happen.
mm,
We live in the era of technology and consumerism. You know,
mm,
it has become a style statement, standard of living statement to go out, have food all the time. A family.
yeah.
This lady, a neighbor of mine, she told me once that um, unfortunately husband has gone diabetic, and uh, their son, he has this craving to have food outside,
Mm,
and he wants at least 3 to 4 times a week. When, if you would reflect 4 years ago, this was what the family used to do:
okay.
go out every second, third thing.
Mm,
Today the problem has arisen. Parents can understand, the child is not willing to understand because we have made the child like that. Why should a child understand? You have always been providing him, you have never told him that it's okay, home food is good, health is important. You have
mm,
never created that awareness in the child. My
mm,
daughter eats ragi.
mm,
She's just 10, she eats ragi, she eats jawar, she eats
mm,
all those millets. Why? Because I eat, and I
mm,
talk of health benefits, and I talk of what it can do to me and what not eating can do to it, and I never ask her. I simply say, I'm cooking ragi for myself. Do you want this or you want a normal chapati? And then she only says ragi.
mm,
It is never a forced decision. And at times she says, no, I
mm,
want a normal chapati, which is also fine for me.
mm,
So the child will say no, one, if you have been providing the child with a lot of things. Second,
mm,
if you have not been talking to the child in terms of seeking permissions, also in
mm.
terms of finding out what world the child is living in. If you are consumed by consumerism, please don't expect your child to not be.
Not to be. Mm,
They are going to be consumed at a higher degree.
mm,
We need to bring down the way we live. Trust me, it is very hard. I'm saying may not be liked by many, but we need to cut down possibly on the types of outing, on the types of things that we buy. We can live simply. It is possible.
No, I
It
think
is
this COVID
possible.
quarantine time also has taught many of us to kind of cut down on many things. Like
Yeah.
It has definitely taught children the value of good home food. Maybe they are craving
Uh,
for outside food, but then
I'll give you just one simple example. I am not somebody who would buy a lot of clothes. So when my wardrobe is more
mm,
than 5 or 6 clothes, set of
mm,
salwar kameez, I would be like, oh my god, now I need to give away. I can't have more. Either I will not buy, or if I have to buy, I have to give away. So the same happens with my daughter. And then when I say no to her, that okay, why do you need more t-shirts? Don't you have this
mm,
many? Are they not sufficient? She
mm,
agrees to it because she sees that value that I am following. No?
mm.
Then there is no conflict. She can't say me, you do it. Why are you asking me to hold myself just because I'm a
This
kid?
is, yeah. This is a very, very classical, thing of parent doing what they want their child to do. Setting an example themselves, and I think
Yeah.
that's the
Can the child emulate you? Can you be something the child can inspire to get inspired from? Can you
hmm,
be somebody from whom the child gets inspiration from?
yeah.
That is a very important question. If you can
Mm,
answer this in yes, then you can set. My daughter never watches me playing any game, so I have
hmm,
the right to question her for the games. I allow her to play,
hmm,
but the time screen time is definitely limited, and I can do that because she sees me. I am all involved in the work that I do, and I then spend
hmm.
time with her. I don't need to unnecessarily find out things to spend time. There is nothing like getting bored. No, this is a huge issue, getting bored.
That's another webinar. Getting bored is another webinar. No, because we can touch
uh,
upon getting bored on the last answer that we'll give on work life balance,
yeah.
because I can tell it, because I have never gotten bored in my life. I never get bored.
Ah,
So yeah, I've never gotten bored.
there is
So I
so
think
much to do every day when I sleep. There is something that I've
absolutely.
in a
I
pending
think
list
that we
only.
have to do another webinar for this. Let's take the last question, the second
Yeah.
last question before we end today's session. How to protect kids from present competitive world around you? Every second friend of her would be with this emotion
Hmm.
of competitiveness, of jealousy, of putting somebody down and going up. So how do you protect your kids? Do we need to protect them, is, or do we use another
You
word?
you
Mm,
never need to protect your kids. You just need
mm,
to expose them and tell them the facts. This is
mm,
how the world is operating. And
mm,
you become competitive when you are insecure from within.
mm,
When you are not aligned to find out what is that you would love giving your life to, when you
mm,
are not figuring out what is that allows you to express yourself,
mm,
when you are not doing all those things, then you will certainly become competitive because you feel threatened.
mm,
And what competition does, it only gives you a lot of more insecurity and more fear. Nothing else it does. It tells you that you are not complete. It tells you you are not all right. And you know, need to do so many different things to be all right. Come on, it's all right. I am perfect the way I am. I'm really perfect. And then nurture what is important. Tell the child, please do not save the child. This is how the
mm,
world operates. And
mm,
especially a teenager knows. Acknowledge the emotion that they got. Are you feeling bad because your friend has done this to you?
mm,
And then bring out, okay, what has your friend does, what possibly would have happened, and why they would have done it. But do you really also need to do it? And the
mm,
child is smart enough to know they really need to. So the next
mm,
time when you are with that friend of yours, can you hold yourself from getting influenced? Tell
mm.
me, how can I help you? What
Yeah,
help you need from my end?
yeah,
So you need to change the questions, change the conversation that you have with your child. So
yes.
let them know competition is there. Why?
Mm,
Because you have less resources and more people. But
mm.
this only happens when you are not nurturing what you really like.
Yeah,
You
because you can.
automatically become better in whatever you like.
Yeah, yeah,
Then there
yes,
is no competition.
yes. Because once you tap into your own own talent or own strength, I think there is no room for any competition, because
You don't,
nobody is like you. So there is no way
a
there
very
can be a competition. Yeah.
interesting thing that
Yeah.
I would like to bring about competition, Vaishali, is
Mm.
competition is when you are thinking about the other.
Other. Yes, absolutely.
If you have made others so important in your life, where are you in your life? Whose life are you living? Is it your life or is it others' life?
Hmm.
And when you become conscious about your own life, obviously others won't have much space. So, where is the scope of competition?
Mm.
Competition is just giving too much of importance to others.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
There are many, many questions coming up. I think, Richa, we have to do another webinar. I mean, shortly we have to do it,
sure.
because I'm sorry, viewers, we won't be able to take so many questions right now, but they're absolutely very, very good questions.
I am
Um,
glad that it's opening up something for the viewers.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Uh, Many, many questions right now. But I would like to take that question uh, which had come from Ashwini.
Hmm.
Yes, work life balance. Most of the careers chosen in India don't allow this. What is your take on that, Richa?
Well, the take is very simple. There is nothing like work and life. You
Mm.
see, uh, of 24 hours, some 7 hours you are sleeping. Yeah, on an average,
Mm.
7 hours. Somebody sees for 6, somebody sees for 8.
Yeah.
7 hours gone out of 24, you are left with 17 waking hours.
Mm.
Out of 17 waking hours, you are involved in your work for almost 12 hours, including commuting.
Yes.
Yeah? What is the proportion? 12 out of 17. 60,
Mm.
65%?
Mm.
65% of your waking time you are giving to your work,
Mm.
and you are saying that's not part of your life. You're not living then. I need to ask, when are you living? I
Yes.
really need to. And these are the only kind of people who will have to run for the weekends.
Yes.
And they go crazy about malls and movies and vacations. Find out your relationship with your work. Two things will happen. One, you will become more productive and efficient. And
Mm.
because that relationship will allow you to be in sync, you will start loving it. You
Mm.
will not come home with a sense of, that lot of boja that
Ha,
on
there are
your
a lot of
back,
burden.
baggage.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of
absolutely.
burden and bag that, oh my god, it was
Mm.
such a tiring day.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was such a loving day. I could do all these things. I learned these things. It allowed me to express myself in that many ways.
Mm.
And
I
if
failed and learned. I
ah,
failed and learned something did not work out, and I learned.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And when you have that approach towards your work, your
Mm.
entire approach about those hours also when you're coming back home changes.
Mm. Yes.
What happens? We throw all our tantrums to people at home that we had got during our working hours. The boss
Mm.
had been nasty, give it on to the children. The, the
Mm.
project did not take off, come back
Mm.
home with a bad
Grumpy
mood and
face.
throw it
Yeah.
all. I
Mm.
had a very hard day, I had a very tiring day, and
Mm.
so I don't want to take care of course. How has the maid taken care of things? And all that will happen. But if
Mm.
you can say to yourself, okay, the project hasn't taken off well, where did we miss? What's the gap?
Yeah.
How do we fix? If you're thinking
Mm.
like that, despite people saying, because there is a relationship of payment involved, so people feel
Mm.
that those hours they owe of yours.
Yeah.
But despite they saying, knowing that they will, and it will feel little insulted, bad at times, and I'm not
Mm.
saying it will not. But
Mm.
what do you give importance to? What do you choose to give importance to? Those insults and those feelings, and you sink in? Or do you
Yes.
want to choose to say, it's okay, I know I'm feeling bad. Okay, let me go out for a coffee. Let me just go out and breathe. Come back and let's see
Mm.
how do I fix it? And then you change your
Mm-hmm.
entire mindset. That only happens when you have found at least some relationship with the work that you are doing.
Yes.
Some relationship. That is very, very important.
And
And to,
it has to be a good relationship. It has to be a love affair with your. You should
yeah,
have a love affair with your
that's
work.
the best thing to happen, Vaishali. That love affair. At least have an affair, if not a love affair. At least have an affair. Otherwise, I'm sorry, I have to say that you're torturing yourself.
Yeah.
Please don't torture yourself.
Yes. And all
It's
of us
okay.
are.
One can
Yeah.
live with lesser resources. You need not buy
Yes.
all that expensive stuff. You need not buy all that gadgets.
Yeah.
And go take up a job that pays you maybe less but allows you to express yourself more.
Mm. I think this is a great point to close our conversation today, Richa, because ultimately all the decisions that we make in our lives, starting from a very early age, then to our teens, and then which college to choose, which subjects to choose. I think it all comes down to being who we are and express who we actually are. And once we do that, work and life, they are not two different things. Personal and
Yeah,
professional life is not two different things. And we can have a beautiful life with a lot of synergy with
yeah,
everything around us. I think that actually tells us how important making decisions and starting this practice of
yeah.
taking
Yes.
thought through decisions are
Yeah,
important in your life, and how to keep practicing them in front of your children, with your children, is extremely important for all parents. So with this, we have come to an end. I would request all our viewers today to quickly go on to Richa Sahay's YouTube channel. She puts these very short, very nice videos. I've been following them for a long time, and they are very, very effective. Please go through them. Please subscribe to her channel, and please do subscribe to our channel, Joy of Drama,
yeah,
because we are doing a webinar every. We try and do a webinar every Saturday for parents and teachers, and we want them to come on one platform, because here we talk about child well-being, and well-being is not just teaching or
yeah.
not one thing.
And I
Well-being.
tell this to
Yeah.
you, Vaishali.
Yes, Richa.
Parenting is something, I say that when you choose to be parents, you choose to grow in your own life. A lot of us take
Yes.
parenting for granted. We
Mm,
say that uh, now that I have given birth to a child, I am a
mm,
parent. The child
mm,
has to go through all the years of education. How
mm.
many years of experience do you have in parenting? Your age as a parent is as much as that of your child. If
Yes.
your child is 5 years old, you are a 5-year-old parent. Child
Mm.
must go through education, why must you not? Giving birth is a biological process, we must respect that, and that's it. It doesn't make you a good parent. So
Yeah.
be on that journey, and trust me, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful,
So
because
Richa,
there is
yeah.
so much of room for yourself also to grow.
Absolutely. 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 So thank you so much, Richa. And we will bring you back soon on for another webinar, because there were several questions, around 10 questions that we couldn't take. So
uh,
I think we
I
can
would love to
yeah,
join you again.
yeah.
And again, I'm just repeating, if you type Richa Sahay and parenting, you will get my channel on
Yes,
YouTube.
it's very easily you
Very
can
easily
access it.
accessible.
Accessible.
Uh,
Mm.
I put in videos of not more than 10 minutes mostly. That's the average
Mm.
duration. And
Yeah.
even in the comment box, when people leave their questions, I create videos on that.
Yeah.
So you are welcome to subscribe and also ask questions.
Yeah.
And thank
Sure.
you so much, Vaishali, for having me here. It's absolutely fun. I really could talk of those real issues which are so underlying and which really needs to
Yeah,
be
I think
addressed.
everything that you spoke, Richa, can become a webinar on its own. So let's keep in touch, and let's
Sure,
keep doing this together for some
definitely.
time now. Okay, thank you so
Definitely.
much. Have a
Thank
blessed
you so
night.
much. And thank you so much, viewers. I
Yeah,
hope it
thank you
has
so much
brought
for
some light to you. Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you for joining us. Have a good night. Are we off, Shashwat? I think so. There were many questions, and we should definitely do another webinar.